I think living with addiction, if somebody we love is affected, they're behaving badly, we're scared of they're going to overdose, they're going to hurt themselves, they're throwing their lives away. We have so much fear, and it turns into obsession. It really makes us a little bit nutty the way we can behave. And that's why we just need to heal, because there's so much of our own stuff there, all of that fear, all of that anxiety. You can't bring that into a relationship in a purposeful way. You gotta kind of deal with that. And I think
Oh,
that's really beautiful the way you've, and my recovery was similar to that as well. Mine was, I started in Al-Anon as well, and it helped me so much. But for me, and then I found yoga. And Al-Anon is a lovely program. It helped me a lot. But it did leave me wanting more. And then when I found yoga, oh my goodness, my mindfulness practice, it helped me so much. And I know the integrates that as well, quite a bit of the mindfulness as well. So that's why I think it's such a great program.
oh, yes, we have something called the 7 steps in the bomb, and the first three are all about your own work. And if you don't have those first 3 steps in place, then you're not really going to have an effective, we call them bomb conversations.
Yeah.
And um, the first one is learning to become the peace. And my first bomb conversation I talked about earlier with my son, I didn't have it with him until 3 days later because it took me 3 days to get peaceful. That's
Yeah.
how important these conversations are, that you must be at peace. Now, they're only 3 to 5 minute conversations, they're not a long monologue. And then afterwards, if you need to release pent up energy, anxiety, or stress, go in your room and scream in your pillow. But while you're having this conversation, these are strategic conversations, well planned out and practiced. And
Yeah.
it's really important to work with somebody who's already done these and had positive outcomes. But yeah, that's my work. I don't just go and blurt things out and say these things I want to say and think they're going to have an effect on my son or whoever else. And I want them to hear what I have to say. I want them to hear my message. In order for someone to hear my message, I need to bring a certain energy to that conversation.
Yeah.
And the energy really needs to be calm, clear, and centered.
And
That's really,
kind.
yes.
I think that's what I love about the invitation to change approach and the bomb, as well as the compassion piece. Because we gotta, I mean, you just, the way we treat our loved ones is horribly lacking in compassion. Even the labeling and the shaming and the blaming, and they're just bad people and they're moral degenerates. And oh my God, our whole culture believes that addiction is some sort of moral failing of some sort. And you got to bring that compassion into that. And Beverly Buncher, the founder of the Bomb, is so good at that. She's just got such a gentle way about her, and that compassion piece is so huge and
Yes.
so important.
Yes.
And
Oh,
just like our loved ones have their addiction to their behavior, so do we.
yes.
Our habits are every bit as damaging and not helpful, and as hard to break and change. For as hard as
Mhm.
it is for us to change our habits, it is that should give us, gives me at least, a great deal of compassion, knowing how hard it is to change my own
Yeah, I just went over that lesson the other night. Tuesday night was lesson 2 of my 12-week workshop, and we talked about the changes, the stages of change. And I invite people to think about change they want to make. To maybe drink more water, maybe start gardening, maybe walk around the block, maybe stop eating cookies every night, whatever it is. And think about, I invite them to think about 3 changes. And then after they think about it and write them down. I invite them, which one is the one you'd like to change the most? Or in how long have you tried to change this? A couple of people shared, for years they've been trying to make this change, and how difficult it is. And I said, now I invite you to think about your loved one who have the impaired brains, and their neural pathways are all off kilter, and them trying to make the change, the challenge of them trying to come on board and not use anymore and live a new way of life. But the beauty is our brains have plasticity, so we
Right?
are able to
They can
repair.
heal.
That's the beauty of it. And but people are amazed, they just by thinking about a change they want to make, and then they think about their loved one trying to change, and immediately I can see their whole demeanor changes, that they have this new deeper depth of understanding of their loved one and how
Yeah.
difficult.
Yep. And I think that's the whole problem with the war on drugs. The whole war on drugs is a horrible failure because it's not about the substance. It's just not, we think the substance is the problem. And we have to look beyond that and say, why are we reaching for it? It's not about the substance. It's about you know, there's a beautiful proverb, a Scottish proverb. It's, they question the drink, but not my thirst. It's like, it's, it's like, we got to look at why do they think they need it? Why is it such a compulsion for them to have this substance? That's what we have to be looking at, not the substance itself. And we can just have a war on the substance till the end of time. And that's never going to change anything. But we just
Mm,
have to have compassion for the person and what it is they need, and how they think that substance is giving them what they need to cope, to survive. And you're
yeah,
taking that one thing that they believe is the only thing that can help them get through the day, or the only thing that can help them get through a social situation, or the only thing that can help them make sleep possible, and say, yeah, stop doing that. And it's
yeah,
like, yeah, they're like, yeah, not so easy, and it's just like, so you really need that perspective. It's so important.
yes. I'm writing a note so I don't forget what I want to say, because it's bringing to light some things to me. We talk a lot about in this type of family recovery, um, not only understanding them, but staying connected.
Yes.
It's not like live and let live and let go and let God. It's like, don't let go of them. Stay connected to them, because you want to get to understand them. You want to understand what's going on so you can help them. And if you're not connected to your loved ones, then how are you going to help them? So, we have what we call the 7 C's. I know in Al-Anon, the first three are the Al-Anon ones. You can't
Hmm.
control it,
Can't
cure it,
cause it.
and cause it.
Mhm.
But back in the day in Al-Anon, they had a fourth one. You don't have to contribute to their use disorder. And we kind of flipped it in a positive and said, you can contribute to their recovery. And in the bomb, we say, if you're not contributing to their recovery, you are contributing to their use disorder.